We're back again after a wonky week with a free Friday episode. A rarity. I'm Captain Ron Bowler here with my first mate, Jared J-Bone Borislow. That's his official title now since we're a pirate podcast, First Mate. But we're also a fast food podcast, Jared, and recently you had a take on Twitter that I believe to be highly controversial, and some have even called it short-sighted.
Yeah, that's why I tweeted it out. I'm a slut for internet engagement, positive, negative, whatever.
Wow.
I just need it coursing through my veins.
That truly makes you a pure member of team content.
Mm-hmm.
You're like a baseball purist for content.
I mean, I literally made the Bone Zone intentionally to piss people off just because I needed to get my dick hard.
Just to feel something.
Yeah.
You needed something yelled at you online.
Like, you know how Jason Statham needs adrenaline and crank?
To stay alive?
I need internet engagement.
Do I ever know?
And I'll do anything.
Do I ever know? It's just like how Sly Stallone needs to do arm exercises while he drives his 18-wheeler.
You know
Everybody
what?
knows that.
What if they remade Crank, but Jason Statham had to crank in order to stay alive?
I mean, that basically was the premise of the film.
Didn't he have sex to get his adrenaline up at one point? Or
And for a strong majority of the second one. Crank 2, which we're going to cover in 2023, right here on RBP. But we're also a fast food podcast. You had this take. We're going to dive right into fast food talk today without delay. Jared, share your take with us, if you would.
So Jerry Jones was on Hard Knocks, and he was eating Whataburger or McDonald's.
I just want to say I'm sad you know this up front. Go ahead.
Well, I watched Hard Knocks, and I will say this. I think Jerry Jones paid a lot of money for the Hard Knocks producers to humanize him and make him more likable, because I left Hard Knocks liking Jerry Jones more, which made me hate him more because I think he paid for me to like him more. You know what I'm saying?
Sort of. Yes.
But anyways, he said that he doesn't like to reheat his fast food because he likes to eat it with the original heat from the restaurant. And I agree with this take because the heat that your food has when it leaves the fast food restaurant cannot be replicated by a home microwave. It's simply impossible.
Okay, but here's what you tweeted. Jerry Jones' take about reheating fast food is spot on. Your fast food should only be hot one time, and that's when it leaves the restaurant.
Yeah.
And look,
yep.
I am not going to sit here and pretend that all or even most fast food reheats well. But, like, taking any take, much less one about fast food, and crediting the owner of the Dallas Cowboys with the debate's inception is billionaire Dallasite pandering, and Jared, I will not stand for it. I am on a very strange side of this spectrum, admittedly, but I really, really don't like cold food. And anyone who pretends their food doesn't get cold by the time they get home is lying to themselves. Like, if your drive is more than 2 minutes, the heat quality is lowered enough to affect my enjoyment of the meal. So I reheat every fast food meal if I'm taking it home to eat it. If I'm not eating in the parking lot or inside of the joint because I'm either depressed or blackout drunk several years ago, it's not a thing.
You sicken me.
I don't like cold food.
Yeah, but reheating fast food and giving it a heat that's not from the fast food establishment makes the food worse than the cold food. Adding in home heat to restaurant food makes the food a home food, and it's no longer fast food. It's just bullshit. It's like cafeteria food at that point.
If you're not reheating your cold fast food that took you 10 minutes to get home, you're living a lower quality of life than I am eating my warm to hot food like a human being who harnesses the power of fire and or technology to turn his nose up at God.
Okay, well, here's my issue. There's ways to remedy this, and I used to do it. I used to get Chick-fil-A at least once a week on the way home from high school, usually like 2 or 3, because I'm a freaking savage.
Jesus.
But also get their breakfast. Chick-fil-A breakfast burrito, underrated. Make sure you get the chicken in it, not the sausage, because it's Chick-fil-A, not sausage fillet. Now, what I would do on the way home, because I lived about 15, 20 minutes from the Chick-fil-A.
I'm a sausage guy,
but I wanted to eat it at home while I was watching like a soccer game or watching like TiVoed episodes of Chopped.
Sausage party.
So what I did was I'd get my normal order. This is my old order that I would always get back when I was a big soda boy. I would get a 12-piece nugget meal, large cherry Coke, large fry, as much Chick-fil-A sauce as they'd be willing to give me. Sometimes I'd have to be like, they'd hand it to me. I'm like, no, I need more. I need more. Give it to me. It's my Chick-fil-A sauce, and I need it now.
How many are we talking? Like, what's the max you've ever gone through in one sitting?
Oh, max. Well, we used to get the nugget trays.
Just answer the question, man.
If I was gonna estimate it out, the most number of sauce packets I've gone through in one sitting is probably like 6.
Okay, that's disgusting. But I've gone 4 on a day where I was like full
Down bad.
glutton and just said, fuck it, I don't care anymore. And it was something after the fact. Like, you really feel it. The more of that sauce you put in you, much like the Raising Cane sauce, it's delicious, but the more of it you put in you, it does its damage.
That was 600 calories of sauce. I know. I don't care. But the thing is this. When I would be feeling extra hungry, I would get an extra fry to eat out of the bag as I drove home so that I could have those hot fries. And when I got home, I'd have the slightly less hot, bordering on room temperature fries to eat with my chicken. Never in this process, you may notice, never in this process did I reheat food.
See, but I'll give you, there are tiers to this. Like, Chick-fil-A reheats pretty solid, bro. It isn't a bad reheat. On the scale, Chick-fil-A is closer to the top than most.
The chicken, but not the fries.
And that's the thing. I'll give you another example. I think it's a chicken thing that chicken reheats fairly well, because I'll give you another example of fast food that can be reheated without a ton of quality loss. McDonald's nugs. They taste a little different. I'll admit it. The flavor changes some, which you gotta say isn't a great sign about the general composition of the food. But great reheated. Almost like a reheated pizza situation where sometimes the nugs have a little extra something to them when they're reheated, and I like them. And those are the McDonald's nugs specifically. Chick-fil-A's don't increase in quality or change in flavor because I think they're real chicken comparatively, first of all, allegedly. Jokes here, by the way, lawyers. And but there is a very, very slight quality drop to me for Chick-fil-A. Even the sandwich, man, because it's not a soggy one. That's a big thing here. Soggy food doesn't reheat well. It just doesn't. Popeyes reheats well because I don't think they have to utilize microwaves in there, man. It's just fryers all over the place. That's one of the things. It's like, if it's being microwaved in there,
like Applebee's and shit,
then it's really not great if you have to microwave it again.
Yeah, you can't double microwave. That's like,
some of those places, they're microwaving your shit though, right? I get the feeling that they're reheating some stuff with a microwave.
A lot of them have devices that keep food warm the whole time, so they don't need to go hot, cold.
Right,
hot, cold.
they're on the warming trays.
Yeah. Let me say this, Ross.
You're right.
I'm not saying I never will reheat fast food. However, the only time you're allowed to do it is when you overorder and you are so unbelievably full and you still have
another sandwich,
a full unopened thing. You can stick that in the fridge, reheat it, knowing full well it will be worse.
Look,
that was not your plan initially. Your plan was to eat it, but you couldn't, so you stick it in the fridge and you just take the sunk cost there.
I'll give you another example of a different situation. Sometimes you're getting food delivered to your home, and your delivery person is just a pro. They've got one of those things in their car that they carry your food in that keeps it warm or whatever, so that when it gets to your house and the restaurant's really close and it's super hot still. So what my disturbed ass will do, because I do overorder, Jared, as we've gone through, what I do is I take the 10-piece nuggets into my bed with the fries and the drink and the McFlurry typically. But when I finish the 10-piece and the fries, or a portion of the fries, then I go get the spicy McChicken, put it in the microwave to get some more heat, and bring it over. And then that's next up on deck while I eat the McFlurry and the rest of the fries.
This should be 2 different DoorDash orders. It should be one for your initial one.
And then the other one shows up 20 minutes later.
You shouldn't be planning to reheat. You should be ordering the first one, then ordering the second one as you get the first one.
It's not cost effective, Jared.
Cost is not an issue here.
We're in the middle of an economic pandemic, too.
This actually reminds me of a segment I've been wanting to do for some time here. Okay?
Okay.
There are some foods that should never, ever be reheated because they are as good cold as they are hot. And a lot of people don't know this. And I'm going to lay them out for you. Okay, Ross?
Chicken spaghetti.
No.
Yes, that is one of them.
This is my segment.
I'm just saying I've got one, and that's the only one I've got. Now go.
No, there's only 4.
Okay, 5.
There are 4. Number 1,
Cinco.
salmon. Salmon is as good cold as it is hot. And also, reheating salmon overcooks it. You can eat salmon cold. It is delicious. Highly recommend it.
I will admit something goes wrong when I reheat the salmon, but I do it anyway because I can't. I just something's wrong with me.
Number 2, pork ribs.
Several things.
Pork ribs, Ross, cold. They look a little unappetizing because you're like, it's kind of a lot of fat to eat cold.
That's a spot on take here.
But it mixes, the fat mixes well, the congealed fat mixes well with the meat, and it is so good. And the sweetness of the sauce and the saltiness. Oh,
It's like how there's some sandwiches you can have hot and cold.
yes.
That's how the pork ribs roll, baby, and they're delicious cold. You're not wrong.
You still can't eat the bones, though.
No. You still cannot. We've both tried, and it's unpleasant digestively.
I ate the bones. KFC commercial. I don't think that was pre-Norm Macdonald. He should have been in that one.
Sure.
Would have made it a lot funnier.
Yeah.
Number 3, Ross, steak. You cannot reheat steak. If you somehow order too much steak, which means you're an idiot, you should always be ordering the amount of steak you can eat in one sitting, because steak should not have to be eaten cold. You cannot reheat steak. Cannot be done. You got to eat your steak cold. Cold steak, a lot like...
Just finish your steak. Just finish it.
You should finish your steak.
And if you're like, wait, well, I'm not hungry anymore, and that's unhealthy, then fucking work out more the next day.
Yep.
Just finish the steak.
The steak is so good.
It's steak. None of us should be having steak frequently enough for it to not be a special meal. Just fucking finish your steak.
And last but not least is the most controversial, I think. I personally believe that chicken tenders are as good cold as they are hot. So my whole life, I used to work for a chicken tender restaurant in college. I got a bunch of free chicken tenders. I would plan out things where I'd order way too many when I was drunk so I could eat them cold the next day. I also do this frequently with Raising Cane's, Ross, where I'll get the Caniac knowing full well I'm only going to eat 4 because I want to eat 2 the next day dipped into the cane sauce while they're cold.
This is a maniacal take. It's ridiculous. It's an overtake is what I'll call it. And here's why. Because the examples you're giving are examples of what I would say food that is better than most of it cold. Like, you don't have to reheat it because it's still good. But those are not equal experiences. Hot, fresh Raising Cane's is a top 3 fast food experience for me.
Try it cold, pussy.
It's just not... It's just not the same, Jared. It's just not the same. You know what I will absolutely not heat up? Reheat. Can't be done.
What?
Taco Bell.
I've done it.
It's too soggy, man. Those are not... That is not a food that is any of those foods. Nothing they provide you with.
I've been doing this. Taco Bell is the number 1 place at which I overorder, and I eat so much that I have full menu items I can't get to. And there's only one Taco Bell menu item that is capable of being reheated and is almost as good. Not as good, almost, and that is the quesadilla.
Okay, that's fair.
But you cannot do it in the thing it comes with because the plastic lights on fire.
Yeah, there's like aluminum in there, I think. Chipotle is not good reheated. Again, it's too soggy, especially I'm thinking of the tacos, man. Like, well, nobody gets the tacos except me. The crunchy tacos.
I hate Chipotle.
The sog potential is important, though.
I hate Chipotle because the only things I like there are the things that are like 2,000 calories, which is getting a burrito bowl and dipping an entire bag of chips in it. And then you have to pay $5 extra to get queso and guac. We get it every week, and I just can't. I hate it, but it's so convenient, Ross. It's so convenient.
Sonic's food does all right reheated, and you really need to reheat it because they usually bring their shit out like 15 minutes after their microwave and their has beeped. That's an example of a restaurant that I'm quite confident is routinely microwaving my food.
They microwave the hot dogs, guaranteed.
Yeah.
They don't have a hot dog roller like a 7-Eleven there. They are microwaving their goddamn hot dogs at Sonic.
Yeah. Anyway, avoid sog, mostly.
Did you ever used to eat hot dogs for breakfast where you just take a hot dog out of the package, stick it in a piece of paper towel, roll it up, stick it in the microwave for 30 seconds, and then eat it like a ice cream cone?
1,000%.
Little hot dog breakfast.
1,000,000,000%. This has been Fast Food Talk with Jared and Ross. We hope you're hungry. You probably are. This episode of RBP is brought to you by Talkspace, the easiest and most effective way for you to get positive growth going in your life today. When you're at a low point, you might feel alone, but over 50% of Americans struggle with their mental health, and that number has been rising rapidly over the past year and a half. And we talk to our friends when we're experiencing issues, but they don't always have the advice we need, and it can be hard to open up to friends and family. Sometimes it feels easier to just suppress our emotions, hold in our feelings, let them build until it creates an actual issue and sometimes a breaking point. So don't do that. Do therapy Instead, Talkspace therapists give you the support you need to feel your best. They have thousands of licensed therapists trained in over 40 specialties, including anxiety, depression, relationships, and more. Your therapist can help you set and achieve your goals. You'll be amazed at how much progress you make each week that you attend therapy. I've been in therapy for over a decade now. Pretty huge cornerstone of my life, honestly, and something that I've spoken to a lot on this show. If you've struggled to find a way to fit a therapy routine into your life, Talkspace is a fraction of the cost of in-person therapy, and instead of waiting for an appointment, you can send unlimited messages to your therapist 24/7. They'll engage with you daily, 5 days a week. The positive effects of therapy will create lasting change in all areas of your life, your relationships, your career, your overall happiness. A therapist can help you identify the habits and patterns that might be holding you back and figure out how to move forward in the right direction. So start feeling better with a single message today. Match with a licensed therapist when you go to Talkspace.com and get $100 off your first month with the promo code RBP. That's $100 off when you use the code RBP at Talkspace.com to let them know we sent you.
Grab your light, this is stuff the Wikipedia when you're high.
Stuff the Wikipedia when you're high.
That's good stuff. Today's Mount Komukas. It's Mount Komukas or Gunung Komukas, also known as Sex Mountain.
Isn't that what they used to call the dog piles on your high school football team?
Yeah, also I think Job in Arrested Development named a community he was trying to develop, like a living community, Fuck Mountain. But it's a hilltop Javanese shrine in Sragen Regency, 17 miles northeast of Solo, where people from across Indonesia flock to honor a local saint. Again, Sex Mountain.
Can I give you a fact that will blow your mind about Indonesia?
Sure.
What do you know about Indonesia?
Not a whole lot.
It's the third most populous country in the world, above United States. I lied. It's the fourth most after United States. Sorry.
Okay. How'd you fact check yourself just now without even using a computer?
Because the number,
In real time.
the population came into my head as I said it, and I realized it was lower than the U.S.'s population, but it is the fourth most populous.
Hey, look, admittedly, we're not great at populations here on this show. And that's okay to admit your faults, America.
Well, this is not as bad as yours with China.
Oh, whatever. But anyway, every 35 days, rituals are conducted on Sex Mountain that involve adulterous, sacred sex. Conservative Muslim groups have threatened to shut down the site in the past, but police have arrived to prevent it. In November of 2014...
It's the horny police. Literally the horny police.
Bonk. The governor of the province of Central Java, Ganjar Pranowo, reacted to a film by an Australian journalist which had been broadcast by SBS One that portrayed Mount Komukas as Sex Mountain and scandalized the local ritual practices. He issued a ban on the tradition of engaging in sex at the site. He said that the local practice was hazardous in terms of health, and indeed, sexually transmitted diseases in the area were on the rise, and morality, and that it was shameful that the matter had attracted the attention of the outside world. The ban, which also prohibited renting rooms to pilgrims, caused a collapse of ritual activities at Mount Komukas with devastating effects to the local economy. The income of the 262 families who lived at Mount Komukas, aka Sex Mountain, decreased by 90%. Therefore, most shops are closed, and many families who were never engaged in the sex business have left the area. The shrine is that of legendary Prince Pangeran Samodro, son of a Javanese king, and his stepmother, Nayang Ochowulan. Crushed it.
That was perfect.
Legend has it they ran away together and lived at Gunung Komukas. It is believed that if you do something even more shameful there, such as having adulterous sex, then you will be blessed with good fortune. Pause.
So the worst thing you can conceivably do at this mountain, the better your luck's going to be.
Well, it's not Murder Mountain. I watched that documentary.
This seems like a bad precedent to set, though.
I mean, it's just a strange concept that somebody was able to sell. Yeah, no, it turns out this one mountain, if you commit adultery there, you'll be blessed. And people went with it, I guess. Yeah. It must be done on the auspicious day of Jumat Pon, when the Friday on the Gregorian calendar intersects with one of the 5 days of the ancient Javanese calendar. The shrine attracts up to 8,000 pilgrims on the busiest nights and has an entry fee of around 5,000 rupiah, which is around 50 US cents. Cheap to get into Sex Mountain, it turns out. Devotees have been trekking up Kamukas in the current fashion since the late 19th century, and only in the 1980s were hostels added, with couples having sex under the trees. Prior to that,
Okay.
there was no other form of shelter.
Nope. Not a Mount Kamukas. It's tree sex,
Sex Mountain.
like the Bible.
Anyway, the ritual involves first prayers and offerings of flowers at the grave of Pangeran Samodro and Naya Ontrowulan. Pilgrims must then wash themselves at one of the sacred springs on the hill and find a stranger to have sex with them. They need to have sex 7 times. That is every 35 days, so it is a relationship that lasts around a year.
So they have sex 7 times, spread out, where you have sex one day, 35 days later have sex again, 35 days later have sex again.
For a year.
That sounds like a relationship, not a stranger. At the end, it's not a stranger anymore, right?
So the couples have to make a significant commitment to each other. They need to exchange mobile phone numbers and addresses to decide where to meet again so they can complete the ritual. Most people who do the ritual are small business owners.
That sounds like most people in like 2021 who are engaged in like sex cults like this is like a self-starting entrepreneur
Who's searching for himself or herself still, and they're going to go do fucking ayahuasca in the desert
and
then go
fuck
to
on
this
Fuck Mountain.
Sex Mountain for fuck. Yeah. Yeah, they hope that if they carry out the ritual, their businesses will improve and they will make good money and be successful. Which, you know, you could just work hard and
Well,
read books and such.
Ross, you are a small business owner.
I know. I don't need fuck
Hey,
mountain.
technically I am too from my LLC that I
True.
Ross,
Put that in an
We're not-
LLC.
we're not strangers, but hit me up if you want to go to Fuck Mountain and commit adultery so we can change our business fortune. Or
Let's
whatever.
go have adultery with each other on Sex Mountain and have good fortune. And I think that we can sell that to the girls, frankly.
Yeah, yeah.
Frankly, I think we could.
I mean, it's for the company.
According to Floribertus is this dude's name, Floribertus Rahardi, an Indonesian writer who has studied the ritual. People believe that they committed incest, Pangeran and Naya, in that place. But before they had finished having sex, they were chased by the soldiers of Demak, killed, and buried together in one hole. That's pleasant. From there, word emerged that whoever can finish off their sexual act will receive blessings from Naya Ontrowulan. The ritual is not seen anywhere else in Indonesia or the rest of the Muslim world. It is a product of Javanese blend of primitive folk religious ideals, according to the world's free encyclopedia, Wikipedia. And that is stuff to Wikipedia when you're high for today.
Hey, Ross, guess what?
Yeah.
I have a surprise segment.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
What?
So
Have you been to Mount Kamukas?
No.
Is that what you're about to
It's
tell
not
us?
related to Mount Kamukas.
Oh, okay.
It's related to something that's going on the RBP TikTok, at the Ross Bolen podcast on TikTok. First off, I did say back in March that if we hit 50,000 followers by Halloween, I would hire a dance teacher to learn how to do the spooky, scary skeletons dance, dress up in a costume, and do the dance on TikTok.
Yes, you frequently remind us of this.
I'm close to that, but I'm close to 50K. Go follow us if you want
Not
to see me
that
do
close, but sure. 44.2 right now.
We're trending. But here's what I want to talk about. There is a large contingency of people who follow us on TikTok who believe that you and I are the same person and that there's one person who does the Ross Bolen podcast, one who wears sunglasses, and one who does not.
That's funny.
This
as
is a
hell.
very popular like conspiracy theory that has arisen on TikTok where people go,
That's
"Yo,
the same guy?
yeah, they go, that's the same guy.
Twice.
He's just like recording himself in that chair
man.
and then recording himself in the other chair." There's like a bunch of people who adhere to this conspiracy theory
That's incredible. We should buy into this.
because they've never seen us on TikTok in the same shot before.
I guess we can never do that now. We
No.
can never be in the same shot so that they'll never know.
And they think it's called the Ross Bolen podcast because both people are Ross
Oh,
Bolen.
man, that's incredible. And then I have an alter ego, Jared Borslow.
Yeah, J-Bone is the other Ross Bolen.
J-Bone. Incredible.
Yeah, I just thought I'd bring that up because I thought that makes me happy. Number one, that people think that I could be you because I've always wanted to
We
be
are
you.
all the same. One
Yeah.
being.
It's like, you know, The Man Inside Me by
Michael Jackson?
Tobias Funke.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes, I do.
That's the end of my surprise segment.
Time for Insane Headline of the Day. Nicki Minaj's COVID-19 vaccine swollen testicles claim is false, says Trinidad health minister.
I saw people on Twitter asking him to show us proof.
Okay, so CNN noted left-leaning news source. Trinidad and Tobago health minister Terrence D. on Wednesday criticized as false the claim by American rapper Nicki Minaj that a person on the Caribbean island suffered swollen testicles after receiving a COVID-19 vaccine. Trinidad-born Minaj sparked an international furor when she alleged on Twitter that her cousin in Trinidad refuses to get a vaccine because his friend became impotent after being vaccinated. Quote, his testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now the girl called off the wedding. End quote. Minaj has 22.6 million Twitter followers. The comments triggered an international backlash with senior and U.S., British, and American coronavirus officials condemning the claims. The D-man here, Terrence D., announced the statement by the Grammy-nominated artist as a waste of time. Quote, one of the reasons why we could not respond yesterday in real time to Miss Minaj is that we had to check and make sure that what she was claiming was either true or false. Unfortunately, we wasted so much time yesterday running down this false claim.
They ran around looking for the dude with big balls on the island?
Man, they had to go try to find this dude. Old Stanley Marsh of Trinidad and Tobago.
I mean, Stan Marsh was the obvious comparison everybody's making.
Yeah. Minaj added that she will get vaccinated to be able to tour. 50 Cent's theory, by the way, is that the cousin's friend didn't become impotent from the vaccine, and that's not why his balls were swollen. 50 thinks it was the bachelor party, and that the dude is using COVID as an excuse to save himself from shame, and he shared this on Jimmy Fallon.
So
he thinks the dude got like an STD, fucked around, and now he's like, shit, fuck, I gotta have a way to get out of this situation without all the shame of like, that I've banged some prostitute who gave me this thing that made my balls swollen. Or maybe they're not even swollen, who knows? Maybe he just punched himself in the balls really hard over and over. Look, men do crazy things, both for love in Game of Thrones, and then to get out of sticky situations that could involve them being caught for bad things they did as well. So, I'm with 50. This guy's full of shit. He tried to pull a fast one. Nicki, thinking that she was onto some like new anti-vax wave, throws it onto Twitter, screws her cousin's friend unknowingly and accidentally. This guy's now totally outed. Wasn't the vaccine. Well, then what was it? Where's the rest of this story? Where's the follow-up?
Gonorrhea.
We demand more information. Jared, I made a move that some might argue give me testicles as large as Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend. I bet on the Texans. I won. It was awesome, and it will probably be one of the only times in the entire course of this 2021 season where that actually occurs. But if you want to be a winner like me, or just need a sports betting home for all your betting needs, or if you're already a sports bettor and you want to bet somewhere that's also supporting the podcast in the form of a sponsorship, the answer is MyBookie.ag. We've got, obviously, the NFL season and college football are upon us. Huge. Feels good to be watching sports with full stadiums, honestly, even if it is unsafe. I don't care anymore. I just want to watch the TV and feel alive. And I'm not there. So baseball is about to heat up in October. The NBA is returning. It's all happening. There's one place you can bet on sports and support our show at the same time, MyBookie.ag. When you use the code RBP upon sign up for a huge deposit bonus, stipulations apply. MyBookie's got all the live lines, prop bets, and futures you can handle for betting on sports. They've got a fantastic casino as well, and a live casino for you to play in while you watch sports if you want. Hell, but use the code RBP for your deposit bonus when you sign up today at MyBookie.ag. Support the show, bet on sports, hit the casino. MyBookie.ag, code RBP upon sign up for that deposit bonus so they know we sent you. And speaking of sports, Jared, did you see the photos circulating on social media this morning of Urban Meyer, now Jacksonville Jaguars head coach, his house and then in his living room?
Yeah, I did.
One of the most unintentionally funny tweets, period, all around that I've ever seen from one Jeannie Blaylock. She said, so cool to be invited into the home of Shelley and Urban Meyer. Thought you'd like to see the inside of the home of the Jags head coach. I loved all the pictures. Shelley says Urban put every single one out. Plus, guess who used to live in the house? Funny story how they met. And she tweeted it at like First Coast News. So first of all, if I ever invite any of you for any reason into my home and you take a bunch of pictures and put them on Twitter, I'm going to come over and whoop your ass because that's fucking weird.
Yep.
Second of all, the look inside the home, I mean, picture number one is a coffee table with legitimately upwards of 30 picture frames on it.
There's no room for coffee on the coffee table.
There's no room for anything on the coffee table. This isn't a coffee table at all. It's a picture frame table.
You see PFT's take?
What was it?
This is how you set up a coffee table if Child Protective Services are stopping by real quick.
That's pretty true.
With 500 pictures of you and your happy family.
Yes.
Hey, look, everything's great over
Everything's
here.
fine here. We're totally fine. In the background, the kids like, save us. You know?
Yeah.
So the coffee table first and foremost, and you have to go to @Jeannie Blaylock to look at this. As of now, it has not been taken down, which is utterly hysterical to me. But their entire living room is something out of my waking nightmares.
Yeah.
It's sporting two little fucking comfy seats that then have matching pillows on the two couches in the room with, and the really disturbing thing is the 50 photos on the table. That's like a third of the photos in the room.
Yep. There's photos all over the wall. It's not like, no offense to Urban Meyer's wife.
It's just tacky as fuck,
Yeah.
bro.
This looks like
Full
the
offense.
classic Jacksonville living room of a rich person.
I'm just gonna say something. White women do not, on the whole, decorate well. In my age range, I don't know what that's about. If we just weren't raised, we were raised in a time of weird interior decoration, maybe the 90s, but this is the result, and it's also the product of a lot of what's the place that's closed on Sunday that sorority girls go to make monograms?
Hobby Lobby?
It's a Hobby Lobby home, bro.
It is.
And it disturbs me a great deal. Urban Meyer is already one of the more unlikable, easily, in a fun way. Kind of like I dislike, what's Stephen A. Smith's old counterpart?
Skip Bayless.
Skip Bayless. But it's fun to me.
I hate Urban Meyer, and I never will like him because he was Ohio State's coach, and we never beat them. We haven't beat Ohio State since I started being a Wisconsin fan in 2011. So
Sad.
yeah, 10 years not being Ohio State.
Moving on from sports. By the way, first episode of Banging the Can still coming soon. Okay, dude, I was in line for the pharmacy at the grocery store, and there's two people in front of me, probably three people behind me, and one of the people behind me is a dude that I'm like, he's maybe experiencing homelessness. I can't really tell. He's in bad shape though. Okay, I'll just put it that way. And he's tweaking out, having to wait his turn. He finally freaks out. He snaps and he just yells out, "Which aisle is the fucking scabies medicine on?" And I'm just standing next to my girlfriend and I just look over at her and I'm like, it was like a joke, bro. It was like
a prank video, on
yeah,
YouTube.
like Ashton Kutcher was about to pop out. So I like slowly back, away from the guy. And then when I got home and burned my clothes like Ace Ventura. But after this happened, so I'm already like, oh my God. Then I noticed behind him is this old lady with like her hair is dyed pink, but only like half of it. Like she clearly dyed it herself. And then again, full offense meant like this woman hasn't worn a bra since the 1940s. Her breasts, and thankfully they were still underneath the t-shirt, but they were swanging at her knees, dude. Visibly. Like comedically, like a fat suit in a movie funny. Weird vibes in this place. Then, the next thing that happens is a lady cuts me in line.
The same lady?
No, totally different person. Cuts us in line, goes to the front and just goes, "Do you sell COVID tests?"
Did she have a mask on?
Come to think of it, I don't think she did. And it was not at a discreet enough volume. Just not what I wanted. I didn't want any of these things that these people probably carried. That woman's breasts, the scabies, the COVID. Didn't need any of it. It was a nightmare grocery store trip from hell to get my friggin' calming pills at the farm. Let's see.
Well, I'm sorry you had to go through that. Do you have scabies?
I really hope not, Jared, but I did burn my clothes.
I had a scabies scare last year, and I had to put my entire body in the scabies ointment just out of
It's like going to some. It's like going up to you know what it's like? It's like going up to a war veteran who was shot, a Purple Heart holder, and going, "Damn, dude, you were shot. You got a Purple Heart. I was almost shot once." Fuck do you mean?
when you have close contact.
Worst month of my life, Jared. You think I want to hear an almost? Unbelievable. How do you even know? What does that mean?
Don't worry about it.
I almost got it yesterday. Anyway, huge congratulations.
Do you need any ointment?
No. To my little brother Sam and his now fiance Lindsay on their engagement. They got engaged yesterday. I'm so excited for them. I love you guys so much. I'm so happy for you.
Please
It's about time. Ha! Ha! Also,
Please
happy
clap.
birthday to Nicholas Van Nostrand. Nostrand? Nostrand.
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 It's on Sunday. Happy birthday, Nicholas. Early birthday.
Congrats to Dalto and Sav on the birth of their child, Alaska.
Ooh, I like
and
that.
welcome to the newest member of the RBP gang. Ah, cool name, by the way.
And you forgot one. Congratulations.
Whom?
Back to you, Jared.
Fuck.
Is that supposed to be congratulations to Japan?
Congratulations to Japan.
I was one sound bank off.
How many months, Jared, before I take away the soundboard?
I don't know.
How many months?
I don't know.
The way you teed it up for yourself and then just you teed it up on like T-ball. Like it's like you picked up the ball, put it on the tee, and then fell over and shit your pants. That's what just happened right there. Oh my God, unbelievable. All right, we'll be back next week on Monday, on Wednesday, right here wherever you're listening. And then again on Friday on patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast with another ad-free premium edition exclusively available there on Patreon. Every week we do 3 episodes. We already did one for Labor Day. What holiday did we just do one on for Patreon?
Labor Day special.
Labor Day special.
That was on Patreon.
That was on Patreon. So we do not have one this Friday. Just wanted to get another free public episode out for you all that's brought to you by our sponsors. But next week, back at it on Patreon again on Friday. So 3 episodes every week if you didn't know that. Monday, Wednesday, right here, wherever you're listening. But then some of the best, the premium stuff, the exclusive shit is on Patreon, patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast. Where we have all kinds of fun stuff. It's all of our biggest supporters, over 1,100 people now. We're trying to get up to 2,000 by the end of the year. We would greatly appreciate your support there if you can help us out by coming through and getting some ad-free extra content in exchange. We do 6 columns every month, mental health minisodes. There's a few tiers for you to pick from. Go now, patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast. Have yourself a great weekend. Enjoy. Start to cool down a little bit. Hopefully everybody's having good weather. I don't know, a lot of different places. Down here, it's getting better. A little cooler. One day at a time. One day at a time. Goodbye.